Hi everybody, this is Linda Schulte, the broker owner of Schulte Realty here in the Central Florida area. And today we're here talking with a home inspector about everything you need to know about home inspections. So today I'm going to introduce you to Louie Figueroa. Take it away and tell us who you are and what you're all about.
Hi, doing Linda. Thank you for having me. My name is Louie Figueroa with A.C.F. Home Inspections. Everyone calls me Louie, so I go by Louie. I've been doing inspections since 2001 here in Central Florida. My company is A.C.F. Home Inspections. We named it after our daughter, Lisa Christina Figueroa.
That's cute.
And that's pretty much what we've been doing here for 24 years, inspections.
Great, great. So since you've been doing this for 24 years, and I know you're not a native of Florida, can you tell us a little bit what might be different about home inspections here in Florida versus other parts of the country?
That's a good question. Because inspections are different nationwide and county by county, so it's not one platform that meets everything. So we know up north we have snow, here we have no snow, we have more rain. So there's different standards per county, per state. So you want to make sure that you're hiring a home inspector that's in your local area. Like I know I grew up in New York, so in New York you're not allowed to have your main panel or electrical panels outside. If you do have a meter, it has to be enclosed. Here in Florida, we put it right outside in the rain because that's the way it is here. So the standards are a little different and the inspections are a little different county by county, municipality by municipality, and state by state.
Good to know, good to know. Also, we talk about home inspections, and a lot of times we're mostly focusing on the buyer, but we also have sellers that may or may not want to have a home inspection. So we're going to talk about that now. But first, let's hit on the buyers. For the buyers, what are some of the main issues a buyer might find in their home that they're looking to purchase, and maybe even highlight some red flags that they might want to be cautious of?
Okay, so that's good. We want to know the buyer, it should be there, and a lot of red flags we find is usually AC units that are older, that need to be serviced, are not functioning as intended. We look under kitchen sinks and bathrooms. We find that there was a previous leak or an active leak, toilets that don't flush properly, doors that don't close properly or seal properly, windows that are not functional. So those are the basic things that we'll find in a home, especially in older homes.
Good. Also, home inspector, for home inspections for the buyer, I always suggest my buyers go to the home inspection. I go to them all, but for a buyer that's coming to the home inspection, is there any way for them to maybe get prepared to come to the home inspection? Is there something they should do ahead of time before meeting you at the home?
That's an excellent question. What the home buyer should do, they should prepare for the home inspection. So they've already gone to the property, they've seen the home. While they're looking around, if they see anything out of the ordinary, anything that's a concern for them, any questions that they may want to have answered, I recommend that they make a list of those questions for the inspector. That way they remember it, number one, and while they're with the inspector, they can walk through and the inspector can explain any of the things that are concerns to them instead of forgetting to ask the question because they didn't write it down, they didn't prepare themselves. So it's always a great thing to come prepared to an inspection so that way you can get the wealth of knowledge that the inspector could give them on the property that they're looking to purchase.
I know I sometimes joke with you that I think I'm a junior home inspector, so I usually come in and I'm like, hey, check for this and check for that. And you always say, what do you think you are, a junior home inspector? But that's what a buyer should be doing. So there's different kinds of home inspections. Can you explain to us the difference between a general home inspection and maybe the other types of home inspections a buyer may want to have done?
Sure, that's excellent. Because a lot of people don't know that there's a different inspections for a home. So we have the general home inspection, which gives you the condition of the home that you're going to purchase. The second one that I know most of the time you would need is a WDO or termite inspection that usually would be for the lender. We have two other inspections that are for the insurance, which one is called a 4-point inspection, the other one's a wind mitigation, or what's known as a wind mit. And there's other inspections, sort of septic system, well inspections that can be done. There's such thing as radon. Mold is a big one that sometimes people want to have done. So there are many inspections that vary through the home inspection process.
And what about, we've been talking about the buyers, what about the seller? Because some sellers say, I don't want to have one, some really want to have one done. I also have buyers that ask the question, do you have a pre-listing home inspection? And not all sellers do that. So tell us, what's your opinion on getting a pre-listing home inspection?
That's an excellent question, because a lot of home sellers don't know that they can do that. It's a tool that they can put in their box. It's a great thing to do. The home inspector comes in, does the home inspection, and gives you the big points, the big red flags that can pop up on a home inspection that can slow down the process and create a little bit of panic for the sellers. So doing a pre-listing home inspection, as we call it, is a great thing, because you know the condition of the home. You get to repair the major items so that the sale of the home flows easily. And a lot of times it stops you from having to do a lot of negotiations and scare anyone off that may not be really wanting to buy a home. So pre-listing home inspections are great. We recommend that you get them done.
Okay, you kind of like we're heading towards this, but what is one of the big things that could be found that could totally blow a deal if it's not done prior to a buyer doing their own inspection, or can really delay a closing? Is there something that you would suggest that a seller really look into? Because we know some things could totally blow something up, and a buyer could be a little bit upset about it. But if it's taken care of before, like, is there anything that you would suggest?
There's quite a few things for a seller. Most of the things that can hamper the sale of a house are missing shingle. I've gone to new houses that have had a missing shingle and no one's ever known about it. 3 or 4 year old house, and it's missing a shingle because we have storms. Sometimes on a couple of older homes we've found polybutylene pipes. That would be a big red flag for the insurance. Cloth coated wiring, aluminum wiring, a couple of Federal Pacific panels, Zinsco panels, and Sylvania panels can be an issue with the insurance. That can stop a sale of a house. Knowing these things in advance, you know that it can come up, and you can already put it in your listing, so that way those that are willing to take the chance will do it. Or you can correct the issues that are there by talking to your agent that's listing your home, letting them know what you have, and they're looking at the report, and they will guide you on the items that you need to take care of in order for the house to sell without any delay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're doing your basic blocking and tackling when you do your pre-listing inspections, and you're taking care of those issues ahead of time. And you also get them done, and so the buyer could have an easy breezy inspection. But don't forget, sometimes they're all going to find something different too.
Yes.
And their home inspection. So you've been so informative. You can hang out for a little bit, right?
Sure, we're here to
Okay,
answer any
great.
questions that you have.
All right, we're going to take a little break. So guys, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back in a short little while. So stay tuned.